What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Rick and Morty episode breakdown. This was the biggest, most mind-melting episode yet, and I did enjoy it, but it was so easy for itself to be eating itself like a snake eating its own tail. If you're new, then please do drop a like and subscribe as well, and comment as well down below what you thought on the episode, because it's proved to be incredibly divisive. So this show was essentially a riff on shows going totally nowhere and some cartoons being just vignettes. Yes, the writers took shots at Family Guy, which tells no story and is just a load of little parts like stories of Rick here. The show's creators were also taking jabs at themselves heavily. All of this episode focuses around Dan Harmon's story circle, a circle which has been adhered to for shows like this and also Community. The train is going around a circle like Snowpiercer, and it's tough to tell if this episode was a riff on capitalism like that movie, and the ending with its writers essentially telling us to buy without questioning anything, because really Rick and Morty's become one hell of a merchandise machine. The pair must go on a story and finish their quest. Outside of the train is non-canon. This features an entire army of people from past episodes like Evil Morty, who has turned Mr. Poopy Butthole, Meeseeks, and a citadel of Ricks. This is the essential overarching of the whole story that people actually thought that this was going to be. Evil Morty has been a mystery for so long, and it does feel like there is a huge story brewing under each episode that he has actually been in. But really, in reality, this is a show going where it actually wants to go and happen with different things each week, with just fart jokes and things like that, and it was never actually meant to have a whole story. This could be the writers saying that they are sick of this and none of these ideas have a narrative link and they just go where they want, because really Jessica and also Evil Morty were never really supposed to be a big thing. This is essentially the writers saying this won't happen, and the show is just a whole load of fart and burp jokes hurling through the multiverse like Star-Lord said. With Tammy etc. are non-canon, so we'll never get this big epic fight which looked so damn cool. What is funny is how this was the trailer. All of this was essentially in the trailer for the whole of the final half of the season. None of this is canon whatsoever, which is a huge middle finger to every single fan theorist out there. The train is all about story devices and how they affect a show, as we see a musical carriage with crazy references, and all of this was major references throughout. The real story of this is how Rick and Morty had to escape the train by writing a deliberately bad story, which is what they do, and then they add Jesus and VeggieTales, and Storylord is just a mixture of fans and TV execs trying to make this what they want, trying to make the story as a huge, massive, overarching story and a marketable merchandising machine. While this never all took place, as we saw at the end, Rick just wants everyone to buy without thinking, and he also dropped the coronavirus reference in there. There's also a take on feminism, which was pretty curious, as the Bechdel test is a real thing and is to see if two women can actually have a discussion without mentioning men, and Morty tries to actually do this and he totally fails miserably. Maybe this is a take on how men can't actually write female characters. Yes, that is quite tough, and even Dan Harmon himself have found it tough. What I wonder is, at the end of the episode, is it all real again, as Rick was acting very weird, but it makes sense he would want to consume capitalism as he was so obsessed with the Mulan dipping sauce. That was a collab of two giant corporations such as Disney and McDonald's there, so he isn't really adverse to capitalism because he understands how the world actually works. However, the outside of the train was non-canon, as they said, and they were actually outside of the train, so what the hell is actually going on? It is absolutely insane. We aren't really supposed to know what happened at the end of the episode. This is essentially a giant anthology episode because it was an advert for a toy train. The fourth wall was also broken in Community, as the whole end of the show was essentially a board game. Again, like here, just like Rick and Morty, it is just a toy and it is just merchandise, which is just weird that this was about original ideas, unoriginal ideas, and they copy the same thing from Community. Writers of the show want to write what the hell they want, and this episode was an anthology episode on complete steroids. And personally, I liked it that Evil Morty's story isn't over. I think it just will be written how we never actually expected, because that whole thing, that whole trailer, was entire fan theories coming true, which never really does in the real world, looking at you, Game of Thrones. Overall, I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was really great, and at times I thought it was the writers just really loving the smell of their own farts, literally here. But it was fun, and fun little moments with the continuity canon and things like that. I just hope they don't actually do anything like this self-referential navel-gazing again, because it gets a very long in the tooth there. And as well as that, it just makes us feel like, haha, smart, they're smart. Look at us, we're smart, and it just gets grating in the end. But overall, I enjoyed it, and we'll be interested to see where they go next with this season, which has been a bit hit and miss. However, that's it for this video, so please do drop a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more if you want to.